Hey guys, Frosty Knives here, back with another EU book review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the second book in the Coruscant Knights trilogy by Michael Reeves. We are going to be talking about Street of Shadows, published in 2008 and clocking in at 306 pages. And this is the second installment of the Jax Pavan story, as he is working through his private investigator / rebel group Whiplash adventures. And this is a book where everybody seems to be looking for everybody else. Seems to be a lot of that going on in this book. So Jax is hired by a Zeltron named Deja Dware, and she asks him to find out who murdered her partner, the Kamasi light sculptor, Vesvaletti. So somebody came into the artist's home and murdered him, and she has tasked Jax with finding out who the murderer is. So that is the main sort of mystery murder story of this novel. In addition, we have Captain Typho, again, fresh off of his adventures in the Ferris Olin book that we just read about. He is still looking for Padme Amidala's murderer. And we find out why he's looking for her murderer so intently, and that is because he loves her. And he has loved her from afar, and now she is dead, and that really aggravates him. So he's accomplished everything he can on Naboo, so now he's off to Coruscant to find out what he can find out, and he eventually discovers, or assumes, rightfully so, that he knows who killed Padme, and that is Darth Vader. He suspects that Vader not only killed Padme Amidala, but also Anakin Skywalker. And so now his mission is to confront Vader and exact revenge. Good luck, Typho, with that mission. In addition to that, we have Darth Vader on the hunt, still looking for Jax Pavan. So he hires bounty hunter Aura Singh, breaks her out of prison, brings her to Coruscant, and tasks her with finding Jax and bringing him to Vader. And he has to be alive because, remember, just like he told Boba Fett in Empire Strikes Back, he's no good to me dead. So he wants Jax alive, no disintegrations. So that's really what the book is all about. Everybody is looking for everybody. Now, to sort of sum it all up, Jax does eventually find who murdered the artist. Not a real big revelation, sort of a ho-hum revelation. So they do solve that mystery. Typho confronts Vader, attempts to assassinate him with a blaster in the back. Oh boy! I mean, if there is a dumb idea list for Star Wars, man, this was one of them. Typho attempting to assassinate Vader. That doesn't go over well. And as we would suspect, Typho dies. Rather horrifically by Vader. It's almost comical. And finally, Aura Singh confronts Jax to fulfill her bounty, but after a duel, Jax manages to survive. He dispatches Aura. We don't really know what happens to her. She just sort of falls into a vat of something that I forget now. And then she just sort of floats out of the story. So we don't really know if she lives or dies, but she doesn't complete our mission. And we still don't know why Darth Vader wants Pavan. We still don't know why he's looking for him. But that's pretty much the story in a nutshell. Now, was this a good read? It was okay. It was just okay. What would the kids say today? It was mid. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't that good, which is especially sad because this is the second book in a trilogy, so you kind of hope that the trilogy gathers steam as it goes along, but it was just an okay novel. It was a forgettable novel, to tell you the truth. You could read that and you're not going to remember this tomorrow. You may not even remember what happened in an hour. So it was just a novel. And I would say you don't have to read it, but unfortunately, it's the second of a trilogy. So if you're reading the trilogy, you gotta have to read it. So what made it just an okay novel? Well, there was a lot of moving pieces going on in the book, but it felt like not a lot was actually happening. People were moving to and fro, searching high and low for people. That was really all the book was about. It just seems like everybody was searching for somebody and following leads that would lead to dead ends and lead to other leads. So even though there was a lot of things going on, it didn't feel like a lot of things was going on. The characterization also felt a bit off. Like the characters of Jax and I-5 and all that, they were fine because those are Michael Reeves' creations, so they just fell in line with everything else. But some of the other characterizations just felt strange. Like the character of Vader felt off. He didn't feel like Vader. He didn't sound like Vader. He didn't really talk like Vader. At one point in the story, he was talking to either Aura Singh or Typho, and Michael Reeves actually put down that Darth Vader laughed. I don't know of a point in time where Vader ever laughed. Vader and laughing are not something you put together in a sentence. Does the Dark Lord laugh or chuckle? Probably not. I mean, I wouldn't. It just seemed odd and quirky, and a quirky character trait that I would not associate with Vader. He doesn't laugh. He doesn't chuckle. He doesn't chortle. He doesn't guffaw. He doesn't do any of those things. Any synonym for laughing. So his whole characterization just kind of felt off. The way he moved, the way he talked, the way he sounded, felt a little weird. Aura Singh, I don't have a lot to go on her backstory because I haven't read a lot of Aura Singh stories, centered stories. She just had sort of a brief throwaway scene in Phantom Menace. She was fine for what she was. So the characterization felt a little off. The story felt a little off. Can we talk a little bit about Typho's motivation? Of why he was going to find out Padme's murderer. The whole unrequited love thing. I mean, of all the reasons you could have chosen to send Typho off on what is essentially a suicide mission, you chose the most basic of reasons. Unrequited love. I loved Padme. I've always loved Padme. But I was security. She was royalty. We were never going to fit. And now she's dead because Vader killed her. And I need to get revenge on her murderer so that she can rest in peace. It's trite. It's cringy. It's the oldest story in the book. I mean, couldn't you have picked a better reason? I don't believe it. I don't buy that Typho loved her. In the Ferris Olin book, they were trying to find out who killed Padme because she was royalty. She was a politician. She was a senator. The Queen wanted to know who would dare murder a senator or who would dare murder a member of the royal house. That's a better reason to go find someone's murderer than I have loved you forever and now you're dead. And even though I would never be able to have you, I need to find your... I don't buy it. I don't buy that Typho. I don't buy it. I don't buy the love angle. It feels shoehorned in. I would have accepted any other reasoning. I would have accepted Typho being bored. Any other reason to solve the murder of Padme rather than the unrequited love angle. That really didn't do it for me. Again, seemed out of place. Seemed like the characterization for people were all over the place. They didn't quite fit the characters. and they were just things to move the story along. I gave this a 3 on Goodreads, like I gave the first book, but in all reality, I may go back and revise that because I think it's probably more of a 2 than a 3. I would encourage you not to read it, but again, middle book in a duology, so if you're reading the duology, you got to read the book to continue along. We'll see how the third book is, and the result may be this could just possibly be a trilogy that you can skip, but we'll see how Michael Reeves resolves this entire trilogy. Again, I'm going to downgrade this book on Goodreads from a 3 to a 2 because the more I talk about it, the more I feel that's the rating it should have. Really doesn't do it for me. Really felt all over the place. Really felt just a bit off. Just a bit wonky. So guys, that is my review of Coruscant Nights 2, Street of Shadows by Michael Reeves. The next book we're going to be reading, we're back to Ferris Olin land. We're going to be reading the next and the last of the Jedi series, A Tangled Web. Remember, Ferris is on his way to go talk to Emperor Palpatine. Big Papa Palpatine wants to talk with Ferris. So guys, that is my review of this Michael Reeves books. Tell me what you thought about it. Have you read it? Have you read these books? Have you read this trilogy? Have you read the Michael Reeves stuff? What did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What are your opinions on that? Put some of your opinions down in the comments below. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Give it a subscribe. Give it a share. Pass it around. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Tell people whose characterization just seems to be slightly off. And as always, thank you for coming to my TED Talk, and I will see you in the next video.